Today, I'm going to show you everything that you need to know to make a spring lo-fi track from scratch. This track was made with my friend Pepper, and it's out now on all streaming platforms. So let's hop on to FL Studio and show you how I did it. So this track started during April of 2025, where I had this piano idea that I wrote down, and this is what it sounds like. It's a very simple arpeggiated chord structure where I've used the scale of A minor to write this. It's basically like the seventh chords, and I just arpeggiated by cutting down everything and writing a top melody. At first, I thought we can make something jazz hop style or like something like dream hop, but nothing fruitful came out of it. So I'm going to show you the initial idea that I made and how it sounds like. As you can hear, it's a pretty mid idea, but I could hear the potential that it has. I was also testing some ambience that I was recording for my pack called Nova FX Collection. You can go check it out from the link below, and don't forget to use code DARKWINTER for 15% off your purchase. Then I hit up my homie Pepper, and he added a lot of great stuff. But before that, I'm going to show you the drums and all the texture shit that I added before sending over the idea. And Pepper will explain you what he did to the track. So first, the piano comes from the plugin called Keyscape. For this, I've used the LA Custom C7 Softest piano. It's a really great piano. And for processing, I haven't done anything, just a normal EQ, cutting out the lows. Then I layered it with some pads using Decent Sampler. It's one of my favorite free plugins that I use in almost every track of mine. For this, I've used the Massive Pad Bank. It's completely free. You can go check it out from their website. Then I did the drums. These drums were literal like test drums for my pack that I was making at that time. So this is what the drums sound like. It's a fairly simple pattern. We have a hi-hat. Then we have a basic kick. Then I've added some snares. This consists of 2 snares. Together I've layered it to make it sound a bit full. The final thing are the percussion. This is like a splice sample that you can get. Then we have a Foley loop that comes from our pack called Euphoria. You can check it out from the link below. It's a fantastic pack that I use in almost every track of mine. This is a soft box. And the final thing that I added was ambience from my Nova FX collection. This is basically like some crickets humming on the background. I sent this idea to Pepper, and now my friend Pepper will take over and show you what he did to the entire track and what you can also learn from it. Over to you, Pepper.
Thank you, Dark Winter. I'm Pepper, and I provided the guitars for this track, for our track The Leaves on the Trees. And I'm gonna walk you through the project I have here. It's a, it's a little bit of a mess because I just provided the loops, and we're gonna start with the guitars that are panned left and right, and they do sound like this. I recorded them for the left track and the right track, and this is basically played the same. I put on an EQ, just rolled off some low end and some highs, and a compressor on each track. That's really important. And then I put them in a group, and on the group I have this plugin here, the Tape Mellofier, which I really love. It's super handy. You have all the controls in one plugin that you need to get a really cool lo-fi sound. I rolled off some highs, put in some tape wear and some drive to even compress it even more. And and some more EQ, just rolling off more highs and to give it a really warm tone. So I can show you before and after. So this is with everything on. This is how they sound completely raw. So basically it's just to get rid of all the low end for the bass. Then we have a guitar melody here, which sounds like this. Yeah, this is a super simple pattern. I have the same processing as with the rhythm guitars, just a low cut basically and some compression for these peaks here. I tried to keep the processing to an absolute minimum, so Darkwinder has the option to put his own processing because he made the final mix, so he has the option to do more to the track. Then we have this melody here. This is just 2 notes to give it some more rhythm, super basic. This is no processing. And then we have an electric guitar in the background, a super noisy Stratocaster that sounds like this. And this is Neural DSP archetype, a super basic clean amp sound. It's just some compression and the amp with a cap and just rolled off some lows as well.
Bye.
Thank you, Pepper. That was a fantastic breakdown on how you did the guitars. I'm truly grateful for it. So once Pepper sent me the track, I'll show you the first demo that we made, and this is what it sounds like. It sounds lovely at first, but I noticed that there are a lot of gaps in the track. For example, the guitar was not layered over here. Initially, it was only this guitar that was in the first of the drop. To record another muted guitar and layered that on top as well. Then my part comes in when I add this piano solo in the break of the track, and this is what it sounds like. So this is like the stock Imaginary piano, and I've put the tone at -10 semitones. As for the melody, you can see that I've double stacked the melody over here. So I've done this purposely because to give the track a bit more feel. I'll show you the difference without it. So without it. Now with it. It just gives the piano a bit more depth, which I really like. And finally, I added some rides in the second part of the drop. Fairly simple, but I was really not happy. Like, we have tried a lot of things over here. We even tried a string section. We tried changing the bass, a lot of things, but none of them worked. Then let's go on to the second arrangement, where I asked Pepper to do another recording of a few elements. Despite doing all this, I was still not happy with it. I'll show you what the second arrangement sounds like. It's a slight improvement to the previous rider that we had. We have more elements, but overall, it just felt very empty for the vibe that we were seeking to go. After a lot of discussion, Pepperoda explained what he did with the third arrangement because it's due to him that we have the final track. Otherwise, I would have been sitting on the arrangement for more for 5 days. This is a key lesson that I want to teach you that arrangement makes so much of a difference for your track. Changes your track from being an amateur one to a professional one. This is the final arrangement that we used and released. I'm going to show you the difference on what the things that we have added, subtracted. First, I want to show you how it sounds like. As you can hear, the difference is a lot. We have EQ'd a lot of electric guitars, cut off the highs, and make it a more cohesive track. But let me just quickly run you down what he did. First, we have the bass change, or piano layered on top, some acoustic guitar, finally, he added another guitar that I cannot find. Yes, there's a guitar mute. So here. So I got these stems and I thought like we are almost there. So let me just add like my final touches. In hindsight, if I was making this track again, I wouldn't be having these snare rolls that come. Like I would just keep it normal and leave gap for the snares. Then I heard a track. I'm not sure which one, but they had these percussive elements on the behind. It sounded really cool, and I tried to emulate that, and this is what it sounds like. So this is how the ear candy sounds in reference to the track. Pretty cool. We added my piano from the first half of the track, and this is what it sounds like. Yeah, pretty basic stuff that we had already made. To smoothen the transition between each section, I have added these rises and follies. These follies come from our pack called Nova FX collection. You can go check it out from the link below and use code DarkWinter for 15% off your purchase. This is a cool technique that I learned from the artist called Brilliant, where he filters out the lows and highs of the track and just keeps the mid in the intro of his song. I try to do this in the break to give it like a difference to the listener. So this is what it sounds like. We have used Filter Pro Q4 as you can see here, and I've used the phone preset and have automated the mix knob from here. Since we didn't have a lot of time, I quickly mastered out the track. I'm going to show you the master chain that I used for it. So I directly started with an Ozone 11 and I added an imager for it, and I used the learn feature to get the bands for it. I just lowered the bass to be a bit mono and just boosted out the highs a bit. Then we have a PSP Vintage Warmer. It's a very OG plugin. I have been using this plugin since my EDM days. It's like a saturator that gives a bit of warmth to your tracks. I added my signature that's reverb on the master. It didn't work at all. Then we have some Pro MB. I use the tight bass and control height presets. It's a very tried and tested preset and it works with almost every song. Then we have a Soothe. It does its job. It reduces the harmonics on the bass and that's all I wanted it to do. Then we have a low EQ. This is a linear phase EQ that cuts out every frequency that's below 32 hertz without causing any phasing issues. Finally, I've added some ProGL 2. I've used this final few dB preset. It's a tried and tested preset. The only thing that I changed was that I added a look ahead that's 5 millisecond and just added a 3% gain. That's all I did for my mastering. I can thank Pepper for showing what he did for the track. He did a lot of heavy lifting for this track. And yeah, if you have any questions, do let me know. Go check out our packs, the Nova FX collection from the link below. Don't forget to use code DARKWINTER for 15% off your purchase. I'll see you in the next one.